Hey everybody, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing something just a little bit different today, and answering a question that I get often from people who aren't train fans like me, and that is, why do I like trains? Why on this earth did I choose to have such a huge interest in these giant metal machines that go choo-choo? And the thing is too, there have been a number of things that I've also had interests in previously. For example, this one right here was a big one. And these ones here have also popped up as well. Even nowadays, I still have a huge interest in this and in this. But despite that, trains have always been the #1 interest of mine. Why is that? I think to better answer this question, we need to go back in time to when it all started. So let's go back to 2005. You know, the same year YouTube was launched, we got Season 3 of Sonic X, and the Sunset Limited service east of New Orleans was suspended. November 26th of that year would actually be my very first train ride, that being on the Durango and Silverton's Polar Express event. Yet interestingly, this wasn't the starting point of my interest in trains. That would actually come a few months later in February 2006 at my uncle's funeral. I know it's not what you were expecting, but this is where it all started. At the reception, my older cousin gave me a toy train to play with. In fact, here it is on the screen right here. And basically, I refused to leave without it. Either the train went with us, or I was staying at whoever's house we were at. So the train went with us, and I just couldn't stop playing with it. It was so fun, I loved it. Little did I know how much of an impact this little toy train would have on my life. Now with this train in possession, the collection was starting to grow. I was collecting wooden trains, Geo-Tracks, Lionels, you name it. Then in May of 2006, I would take my very second train ride of all time. This one being at the Day Out with Thomas event at the Grand Canyon Railway. From what I recall, it was a pretty fun train ride. And looking back now, I got to see Grand Canyon 18 without even realizing it. So how cool is that? The rest of 2006 would be loaded with lots of train rides. For example, June would be my first trip on the Santa Fe Southern Railway. July would be my first trip on the New Mexico Rail Runner, and interestingly, the inaugural run of that train. October and December would be back to Durango for both the Pumpkin Patch and Polar Express trains respectively. Going into 2007, that would be my first time on the Cumbres and Toltec Scenic Railroad. All while riding all these trains and even riding the Rail Runner very, very often, I was also watching TV shows about trains. Most predominantly this one and this one. While these ones are of course about anthropomorphic trains, I did have quite a few DVDs that were educational about trains, but then also DVDs that were about real trains as well. Then my 8th birthday in 2010 comes along, and thanks to my grandpa, I got my very first HO scale train set, which was the New Mexico Rail Runner. This could not have been a more awesome gift for me, and given that it's the Rail Runner, I was ecstatic for this. Then in 2011, thanks to a friend of my dad's, I got to do this. Eight-year-old me was so happy. Though by around age 9, things started taking a little bit of a turn. I was kind of getting out of trains. Those other areas of interest that I mentioned earlier were starting to take over. Even though I was still riding the Rail Runner, riding the Polar Express, I wasn't really focusing a lot of my time on trains anymore. And yet, despite all of these other interests coming into my life, I never wanted to get out of trains for some reason. I think I just needed some fuel to relight the fire. And I think I got that on Christmas Day 2014 when I got a brand new camera. I needed something to film. Trains are something, I guess. You know, I see people filming trains on YouTube. Maybe I could film that as well. So that's what I did. I started filming trains. And I was actually filming trains quite a lot, to the point where I wanted to start uploading these videos onto the internet. So for my 13th birthday in 2015, I was gifted a YouTube channel, and that is this channel here. I did not upload my first video until 2 months after the channel was created, mostly just because I was an idiot and I had no idea what I was doing. But eventually I did learn how to upload, and hey, better late than never, am I right? So I started uploading a lot of my train clips onto the channel. Even if they weren't the greatest, I was doing it anyway, because why not? It was fun. I enjoyed doing it. Right after I started uploading, I felt like I needed more cameras. So I just searched my house for some random cameras, and I found these two. And then I would also use my parents' phone if I felt like I needed to. During 2016, I was filming with 2 cameras, 3 cameras even, and sometimes 4. Yeah, 4 cameras for one train, even if it was the most ordinary train in the world. I did also use a GoPro for a short time, but emphasis on short time. I just don't think GoPros are good tripod cameras. 2017 was an interesting year for me. It was a year of firsts, for sure. For example, it was my first year documenting the semaphores, and I am still doing that to this day. Thank God there are some that still exist. And even though this is more than 10 years past all the first trips I took, 2017 is also when I finally took my first trip on Amtrak. Yeah, it was just a simple day trip from Albuquerque to Lamy and return, but I did it finally. 2017 would also be the year that I started recording in 4K, and that is all thanks to this iPhone 6s where it started. And I am still using this to this day, mostly because I've just been too lazy to find a new camera. That is changing in 2026, so stay tuned for that. 2018 would be my first overnight trip on Amtrak, from Albuquerque to Los Angeles and return. We had a pretty good consist going up, and a good consist going back. I'll take it. This would also be the first year that I did a photo charter. It was a fall colors freight on the Cumbres and Toltec. The rest of 2018 and a good chunk of 2019 was pretty normal. I saw some good things here and there. Did a couple photo charters. But the cool thing is that I got to see my first mainline steam locomotive, that being Union Pacific Big Boy number 4014, while it was touring across southern New Mexico. And then what happened next? 2020! Yeah, everybody's favorite year. The year when everything was shut down and everybody was inside. As for me, I frankly did not give a shit about what was happening in the world. I was out watching trains every single day. I mean, school was basically let out by this point. I didn't have a job yet. I had all the time in the world. So I was just watching trains the whole time. From there, I can say that things have just been pretty steady. You know, I've been catching good trains, doing some photo charters, traveling the country to go see trains. Right now, I'm in a really good position, and I love it. I love traveling the country to go see all these different trains. It's so much fun. Now that we're pretty much caught up with everything, let's go back and answer the question, why did I fall in love with trains? Well, here's the answer. I don't know. You heard me right. I have no idea why I love trains. Now, when I look at this and I look at this, I can tell you why I like those, and I think part of that is because I got into those at a much older age. But with trains, I was 3 years old. I was dumb back then. And let's be honest here, not much has really changed from that. There are a couple of things, though, that I do like about trains that maybe one of them is the reason why I got into them. 1. Sounds. Trains sound cool. Let's be honest here. You know, you hear a horn, you hear a bell, even the engine itself. I hear those, and they're pretty cool. Okay, maybe not this one, but this one. And this one. And this one. Even the sounds of the track as a train is passing by is also pretty cool. See what I mean? 2. Size. Trains are huge. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. But can you imagine me as a 3-year-old looking up at something that's like 8 times my size? And even nowadays, it still kind of shocks me every time I stand next to 2926, and I'm like, yeah, this thing is still huge. 3. Speed. Now I know they're trains, they're not as fast as airplanes or anything, but they can still go pretty fast. And if I'm going to be honest, it's fun whenever I'm rail fanning, a train goes by 70, 80, even 90 miles an hour, and you feel the wind just blowing in your face, your hair blowing in the wind. It's honestly kind of cool feeling the wind just blasting right at you. 4. Variety. There are so many trains out there. Let's be honest, there are. And that's part of the reason I love traveling to see trains, is because I'm going to see different ones wherever I go. Like, for example, out in Florida, I don't see that in the Rail Runner. I've never seen that before in my life. Or even here out in Texas. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. We don't have that in New Mexico. And this doesn't just apply to the actual, like, locomotives that I'm seeing, but also to just the paint schemes as well. I'm not saying, oh, it's a heritage unit, it's a heritage unit, it's a heritage unit. But even just going and seeing Norfolk Southern in their territory is always fun, just because it's not BNSF. Like, no shame to BNSF by any means, but I want something different. You know what I mean? But even regardless of why I like trains, I'm just so happy that I do like trains. And let's be honest here, I've invested way too much time and way too much money to just get out of doing trains. But honestly, I'm okay with that, because I've had a lot of fun adventures, I've met a lot of great people, and I'm at a point now where even if I had the option to just quit, I wouldn't. I want to keep going. I think at this point, trains are going to be the big part of my life. And I'm just really excited to see what I'll see in the future. I'm really excited to see where I go in the future. So, all I gotta say is, bring it. Let's see what the future holds. But anyways, thanks for watching this video. Thanks for just listening to me blab for however long this video is. If you enjoyed it, be sure you like and subscribe. And also, let me know, would you want me to make similar videos about these two as well? Because I'd be more than willing to do it. But I want to see if you all would be interested in exploring other sides of my interests. Let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.